Good Friday morning, YouTube. Welcome to fuel tank video number 2. Continuing the preparation for the fuel tank ribs. Doing both sides at once, just because it's a repetitive process and I want to work on both sides at once. I want to apologize to anybody who actually cares about the content of the channel, that it's going to slow down for a bit. Mainly it's summertime, so summertime commitments kick in and I'm not able to do as much. Not only that, but I'm waiting on parts, so I'm trying to sort of scavenge around in the instructions on what exactly I can do versus what I can't do, because I don't want to box myself in. So I'm sort of taking it a little bit slower for a while while I get this figured out. I think next, I think I should be able to do a decent amount of work on the fuel tanks, but I'm going to take my time with these because it's it's a process. And when it comes to installing or putting these things together, it's going to be messy, and I want to take my time. So anyway, so what I figured out here was that you can do certain things with the deburring, the speed deburring tool, and other things with the Dremel. So I put a Scotch-Brite wheel on the Dremel, and basically cut it into like a 2-inch Scotch-Brite wheel and cut it into triangles, and you attach it to the Dremel, and it makes this nice little pointed piece that works super well for deburring in itty-bitty places. I want to say I found it from Plain Lady. Her and her husband are building an RV-10. If I can find the video, I will link it below on how to make that little speed deburr tool for the Dremel. It's so handy for stuff like this. So I will link it below if I can find it. Speaking of speed deburring, we're also running the Scotch-Brite wheel on the grinder and then a smaller wheel on the drill press, so I can get both the outside flanges and the inside flanges in one fell swoop. Also, here's that same Dremel bit again. Why is it? Oh, I think my neighbor must be cutting the lawn. He's driving his tractor out into the street. Like, what is that smoke that keeps coming up? Yeah, so that little bit gets into the places between the flange gaps super easy. Definitely something everybody should have if they're using, if they want to deburr the edges of their pieces. And then the next step is to make sure that the ribs lay flat by fluting them. And actually, it's not about the ribs laying flat. It's actually about the holes lining up. So at first I was looking at how flat they were, and then I was like, wait a minute here. No. The point is that the rivet holes need to line up properly with each other along a straight edge, because that way when you get them into the tank or into the skin, it'll work the same way for the leading edge ribs that are not part of the tanks. When you get them into the skin, they will align nicely with the holes that are in the skin, because the skin doesn't flex as much as these ribs do. So this is just a preparation to make it easier. You can kind of see the flutes there, little dimples that you sort of put in between the holes, and that sort of pulls the web of the piece into a curvature, I guess, and it aligns the holes nicely. So think that's the end of this one. We'll let it trail out, and I think on the next one we'll start making some of the skin stiffeners for the fuel tank. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.